Hey guys, what's up? It's Erin here, and today we are moving on to part 5 of the How to Start Competing in Bodybuilding Without a Coach series. So today's video, we are going to cover your stage ready checklist. So this is like everything that you need to be doing and have done previous to actually getting on the stage. And this is a huge thing for a lot of people. A lot of people start to worry about like what they need to have done and things like that. I'm also going to be going over the expenses of these things, and then we'll break down the actual cost of competing at the end of the video. You spend 4, 5, maybe even more months prepping for a show, including lifting, meal prepping, being hungry, doing cardio, training, posing, all the things so that you can step on stage. So it is so important to be prepared for that day, because you do not want to put in all this work and then not have it come together at the end. So starting from the very first and most important thing that you need to have is going to be your NPC membership card if you're going to be part of the NPC. Obviously, if you're going to be part of other federations, you will need a membership to that specific federation. For this video, we're talking about NPC, and the NPC membership runs year to year, so from January 1st to December 31st, and currently it costs $135, and then you can use that to enter as many shows as you like. Once you have your NPC card, you will want to keep it on you. I usually just keep a picture of it on my phone to take to show day, but once you do that, you can begin registering for shows. So there are a few things to consider. Shows can range anywhere from $100 to $200 to register for. National level shows get even more expensive than that. But a way to actually save a little bit of money is to register early for your show. Most shows, if you find them online, you can look into the entry details and it will tell you what their early registration fee is, and then they have usually a cutoff date, and after that the price increases significantly. So you'll want to register for your show a little bit before your show. The next most important thing, although this is without a coach, I strongly recommend that you get a posing coach. You can find a posing coach online through various websites or Instagram or YouTube or wherever, and they range in price, but I found that the average is about $50 to $60 per hour online. You can also check, if you live in a bigger area, you can look into posing clinics, and oftentimes they'll either offer these for free, or it'll be like a day-long session and it'll just be a flat rate and you get to learn a whole lot while you're there. So at bare minimum, you should budget and plan for at least 3 posing sessions with a coach. So this could be online or in person. They range anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour long. That is the bare minimum. I highly recommend putting forth the money to get more posing sessions, as this is a huge factor in how you place and how you present yourself on stage. And it is going to reflect whether you're confident on stage or whether you're absolutely terrified and nervous. So put your money into posing and learn how to do it properly. So now we get into the actual presentation of it. So like what you're going to look like on stage. This is where the money starts to pile up fast. We're talking suit, shoes, tanning, makeup, hair, all those things. So we'll get into that now. So number 1 is definitely going to be your suit. Suits vary at such a wide range. I was, previous to this video, doing a little bit of research. You can find them for as low as like $170, $180, $200-ish. You can even find suits on Amazon. It's possible to get one sent to you fairly quickly. And then they go all the way up into like $800 or $900 for bikini, wellness, and figure suits. Personally, I have put forth quite a bit of money for my suits. They are from this company here, which is Toxic Angels Bikinis, and I have been so impressed. My last suit was amazing. Their customer service is fantastic. They are a little bit expensive, but they do offer a payment plan where you pay half and then you pay half at the time that your suit is due. So it's strongly recommended that if you're going to reach out to somebody who is going to design your suit, that you do so in advance, probably like 12 weeks minimum. They need time to make your suit, put the rhinestones on, customize it, and make it fit you. Because if you order a basic suit from Amazon, it's gonna come in basic sizes, so like small, medium, large, that kind of thing. Where if you go through a suit tailor, they are going to tailor it to your needs. So your exact hip measurements, your high hip measurements, your bust area, things like that, to make sure that it fits your body and complements your musculature and your physique overall while you're on stage. Another thing to consider with your suit is to know your division's rules. So depending on the federation and the division, there are different rules regarding what your suit must look like, or what it has to entail. So the big one, depending on federation and your division, is going to be how much glute coverage you have on the back of your bikini. Some federations require that you have at least 50% coverage, meaning that it's going to cover 50% of your bum, where once you get into like NPC and then up into the pro league in the IFBB, they wear like pro cut suits that just have like I don't know if I can make it with my fingers, like the little triangle at the top, and then it's almost a thong. So make sure you know those rules and what they're looking for, because that will affect the judging and your place. Moving on to shoes, the big one, if you've done any research with bodybuilding competitions, you've heard of the Shoe Fairy. They carry a brand of shoe called the Olympian. It is extremely comfortable. They look very nice. They help elongate your legs, and they're supposed to be a little bit better to walk in. That being said, those shoes do run about $80, and if you add the fancy, like the rhinestones, they go all the way up to like 120. You can, if you're on a budget, find shoes on Amazon that are acrylic, and you can order them for much cheaper, around $40 or $50. I had a pair for my last competition after my Olympians didn't fit and they were out of stock. And so you just want to look for something that has about 3/4 to an inch platform on the front, and then it's about a 5-inch heel in the back, and you want them to be clear. The whole purpose of clear heels is to elongate your legs and not draw attention away from your physique, but instead just make you look taller, longer, and put more emphasis on your actual physique. Okay, from here we move into jewelry. Yes, you'll have jewelry on stage. Remember, it's a whole presentation. So with jewelry, you're gonna be looking at earrings, bracelets, and rings. You do not wanna be wearing a necklace while you're on stage, but the other 3 you can have. So if you, again, go back to like the Shoe Fairy, they do have kits that you can buy that range from $40 to like $70 that will come with like a pair of earrings and maybe 1 or 2 bracelets and rings. They're typically covered in rhinestones, and you can get them in like a clear rhinestone, or you can get them in the AB rhinestone, which is like, when light's on it, it kind of reflects very colorful. Again, you can also search on Amazon, and I'm gonna be dropping lots of Amazon links down below to things that I found that are a bit more budget friendly than shopping with these big names. But you can use things from Amazon as well. All right, so now on to your tanning, makeup, and hair. These things can get pretty pricey, but you can also get away with doing them quite a bit cheaper. So my last show for my tan, I used the Pro Tam Kit. It costs $109. It includes your buffer, it includes your base coat, your top coat, your glaze, and bikini bite, which is used to hold your bikini in place, especially like as your boobs shrink, if they don't fit in your cup properly, and when you're like rotated and posing, you don't want your whole nip to be showing. So it will keep it pressed into place and keep it where it's supposed to be. So again, that kit's about $109. I saw on Amazon they have a mini kit that is for a single show use. I would say you can get 2 to 3 shows out of their bigger kit for $109. And you can do this by yourself. Take caution if you're doing it like in a hotel room or even at your house. It does stain easily, so you need to make sure that you are prepping your area properly. I might do a video later on, because I plan to use Pro Tan again for this show, on how I apply my tan and how it turns out, so that you can kind of make that decision if it's right for you. The other option is to get the show tan. Almost every show you go to will have a sponsored tanning company that will be coming in, and they will do your tan for you. It is a spray tan. These can range in cost, and it kind of depends on how many layers they need to put on you. So I think the base cost is right around going to be $100, and then after that it goes up from there. So if you're very fair skinned and you need a lot of coats, or your skin just isn't holding the tan, it can range all the way up to like $200. After this is done, they will help you apply bikini bite. They will apply your show glaze right before you go on stage. So those are things to consider if you want to take the approach of using the show tan. For hair, makeup, and nails, you can do them all yourself. You don't have to spend hardly any money. I recommend definitely either painting your nails or getting like some cheap glue-on or press-on nails for the show. But you can also go the route of getting acrylics. For makeup, they typically have a makeup person on site that you can pay to have your makeup done, and this is again around $100 to $120. Or you can do it by yourself. If you do it yourself, know in advance that you're going to need to buy a different shade of foundation because you are going to be extremely dark. So you will need to find a foundation that will match your tan. Go into somewhere like Ulta that allows you to kind of test things and see if you can find one. You need to go quite a bit deeper than your natural shade. You'll also kind of want to have a good idea of how to do eye makeup and make it look nice. If you're going to do it yourself, show makeup is definitely different than regular everyday glam. This is going to be a very dramatic look, but you want it to look good and you don't want to look sunken in or anything like that. So take that into consideration when you're considering doing your own makeup. As for hair, this can be anywhere from free to all the way up to $500+. So when I say that, free would be if you have naturally long hair or you want to wear your hair short, and then you're going to style it yourself. If you want to have it styled by somebody at the show, it's probably going to cost you $80 to $100 to have your hair styled. And then the additional cost can come if you're somebody like me who has like mid-length or shorter hair, but you want to pull off the full glam look with very long hair, so you need extensions. Your options with extensions are endless. You can get just clip-ins that you'll wear the day of the show and maybe afterwards. You can get the halo extension, which is like a band that goes around your head and then the hair just kind of hangs there. Again, it's removable and it's just temporary. You could also have glue-in, tape-in extensions or like bead extensions done. And as we talk about those, they get progressively more expensive. Sometimes bead extensions can go all the way up into like $1,000 depending on how long you want to go and who you're going to and what area you're in. So consider these things. And if you already wear extensions, then I suppose that's already part of your budget and you don't have to worry about it. Another thing that you want to consider is going to be your travel expenses. So if you live somewhere where your show is right directly in your area, you probably aren't going to have to worry about this, and it is obviously the best budget-friendly option. I live in a place where there are like no shows nearby, so I have to travel in order to attend and compete in a show. So for me, I have to factor in my travel budget, which is going to include fuel or airfare and then also hotel stay. So your hotel stay can range anywhere from $200 all the way up to $800 or $1,000 depending on what room you're getting, what hotel you're staying at, and how many days you plan on staying. On that note, please remember that typically on shows, you have a day before check-in. So like Friday morning or Friday evening, you would check in, and this is kind of where you go and you get your height measured and they make sure that you have your NPC card and they do all your check-in things, so check your suit, things like that. And then show day is on Saturday. So if you're planning to go to an out-of-state or out-of-town show, you need to plan to be there probably at bare minimum 2 days. So account for that into your travel planning. You'll also want to look on the show website. Oftentimes they have a sponsor hotel. These are usually nice hotels, but you're going to get a very nice room that is typically very close to wherever the stage is going to be. So like at a convention center, and it's within walking distance, possibly across the street or attached to the same building. And they will give you a discount if you are a competitor at the show. So that wraps up all the things that you have to like absolutely have to buy, need to have on show day. But here are going to be the other things that I recommend. These are going to be way less costly, but definitely worth the investment if you don't have them, and many of them you probably already have on hand. So 2 things that you for sure want to take with you, whether you're traveling out of town or you're staying at your own house, is you're going to want to have some loose fitting black clothes. I like to have like a pair of black sweats or like black track pants, and then either a light black hoodie or like a long sleeve black shirt. That is because the tan that you're going to be wearing does rub off and it can stain. So if you're at a hotel, you do not want that getting all over everything. You definitely don't want it getting on light colored clothes. So it can just be an old pair of sweats that you have or whatever, but make sure that you have those ready and available. If you're going to be traveling or even at your own house, you're also going to want to have some crappy bed sheets and towels so that when you shower off your base coat tan, you're using a towel that you don't really care about because it could stain, and at a hotel they will charge you for stained towels. And then also the night before your show, because you typically start tanning the day before, you're going to want to have different bed sheets and pillowcases. So if you're going to a hotel, make sure to take an old pair of bed sheets there and change them out before you lay down that night so that you're not ruining the hotel bed sheets. And obviously the same goes for your home bed sheets. If you have an old pair, throw them on and use those. And then the last things are going to be the things that you're going to take in your gym bag when you go to the show while you're backstage. These are the things that people worry the most about, and they're definitely important, and you don't want to be forgetting stuff. So you're going to want a gym bag to take backstage. In your gym bag, you definitely want to have some sort of food. I took rice cakes and peanut butter and some candy. The high carbs are going to help kind of pump up your muscles and add more glycogen in there to make you look fuller, especially after peak week when you're going to be fairly depleted and looking flat. This is kind of your time backstage to kind of add in just a little bit and munch on, because you don't know how long you're going to be backstage. If you're back there, if you're at a big show, it could be a long time. So in order to be comfortable, you want to make sure that you have food, a water bottle. You'll want to have like a blanket or even like a folding chair that you can sit in. Some girls bring mirrors. This show I went to had mirrors backstage, but you might want to bring a mirror, because if you're going to be back there, you should probably just use your time to work on your posing. You'll also want to have some sort of mini bands. I have a set from Amazon that I take with me, and they're super lightweight and easy to pack. And you'll also want to bring your makeup and your phone charger. Use your makeup to touch up. When I went, it was during COVID, so we had to wear masks backstage, and I didn't realize that my lipstick had smeared, and I didn't have that specific lipstick on me. Thankfully, I got my husband to bring it for me because I didn't have it, and it was like all over, so then I had to use some concealer to try to like touch up around the edges of my lips and rework my lipstick. So make sure that you have those things backstage so that you can make any touch-ups that you need. And one last thing that other girls have recommended, I didn't use it when I did it, but I will be this time, is like a solo cup, and you're going to poke a hole in the bottom of it. And I know it sounds weird, but you're gonna take it with you when you go to the bathroom, and you're gonna pee in it. And this is because then your pee doesn't splash from the toilet onto your legs. When water or anything touches the tan, especially the top coat, it starts to run, and you can see run lines. So the judges and people out in the audience and other competitors don't really wanna see your pee streaked legs on the day of your show. So you just kind of hold the cup and pee into it, and then it drains through the bottom. So with all of that, I added up like the lowest, if you went with everything at the bare minimum, with and without hotel. So the most budget friendly way to get on stage is still going to cost you about $700 with posing, memberships, registration, suit, all the things you need, because you have to be tan, you have to have makeup, you have to do your hair. And a lot of those, like I said, you can do for free, but even at that, the bare minimum of stepping on stage is gonna run you about $770. If you have to travel, that's going to put at least a bare minimum of $200 to $300 on top of that, so just aim for about $1,000, and that doesn't include going out to eat or food. On the high end, if you go a little bit higher and you buy the nice suit and you buy the nice heels and you choose to have all your hair and makeup done at the show to relieve stress and just let the day unfold, then you can be looking as high as about $3,000 to step on stage. So even without a coach, bodybuilding is very expensive. We are not by any means super wealthy, but we've managed to get me on stage once with travel and bringing my mom and our kids. But with all of that, I still managed to do it, and so can you. And lastly, if you check down below, like I said, I will link the things that I've mentioned in this video, Amazon, and then the different suit makers and the shoe fairy, things like that. I will link them down below, but I'm also adding in a printable checklist that you can see here, that you can print out and you can kind of check off as you do them. So like as you get your NPC membership, as you register for your show, as you book your hotel, those kind of things, as you buy your tanner, whatever it is you're gonna do. And this will kind of help you prepare, and it will kind of give you that timeline of like, oh my gosh, we're getting close, time to get done. So that wraps up part 5, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you learned something. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down below. Follow me on Insta or on Snapchat, and I will see you in next week's video.